What if the tightness you feel in the back of your legs is not just about muscle? What if it carries something deeper, something emotional, something layered into your body over decades of living? Most people over 50 accept stiffness as a normal part of getting older. They shrug and say, "I'm just not as flexible as I used to be." But what if that's only a fraction of the real story? There is a hidden dimension to tension in the body, one that both modern neuroscience and ancient healing traditions are beginning to agree on. Every time you fold forward, something far more profound happens than a simple muscle stretch. You are communicating with your nervous system. You are touching emotional memory. You are speaking directly to your body's deep sense of safety. And when you learn to unlock that conversation, something truly shifts, not just in your body, but in the way you move through your entire life. Over the next few minutes, we are going to explore what happens when you commit to one simple, gentle practice every single day. The changes are not just physical. They ripple into your emotional world, your sleep, your mood, your posture, your creativity, and your relationship with aging itself. This is not about performance. It is not about pushing yourself to extreme limits or proving that you are still young. It is about something far more meaningful. It is about coming home to your body and letting it remember what freedom feels like. Let's begin with flexibility and what it actually means after the age of 50. Real flexibility is not about gymnastics or yoga poses that impress people. It is about how freely and easily you move through daily life, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally as well. As we age, we start to confuse stiffness with inevitability. But here is a perspective worth sitting with. What if your lack of flexibility is not purely about the passing of years, but about your body spending decades in protection mode? The muscles along the back of your body, particularly your hamstrings, are part of a deep connective tissue network. When they tighten, it is often your nervous system responding to stress, emotional weight, and unexpressed tension, not just physical inactivity. That stiffness you carry is not simply muscle fibers. It is years of unconscious holding, bracing, and guarding, layered quietly into your tissues. By practicing a simple daily forward fold with awareness and breath, you begin to unwind that holding, and something remarkable begins to happen. You do not just become more flexible in your body. You become more flexible in your thinking, in your relationships, in your responses to life. Decisions feel lighter. You react less and respond more. You stop gripping so tightly and start trusting the natural flow of things again. Now let us talk about stress, specifically the kind that never truly left. Most of us think stress disappears once the difficult moment passes. But after 50, the majority of people are quietly carrying decades of unprocessed tension stored deep in their tissues. When you spend years sitting for long hours, holding your breath through hard times, and pushing through life without ever truly pausing, your nervous system learns one core lesson: survive through contraction. The muscles along the back of your body become the body's armor, tightening not from laziness but from the emotional weight you never had time to release. A gentle, mindful forward fold done daily is not just a stretch. It is a conversation with your nervous system. It whispers, "You are safe now. You can let go." When you combine slow breathing, conscious touch along your legs, and an unhurried descent, stored stress begins to dissolve. You may feel warmth, subtle trembling, or even an unexpected wave of emotion. That is not weakness. That is your body finally releasing what it has been holding. Over time, that chronic background tension in your shoulders, your jaw, and your hips begins to soften. Sleep becomes deeper. The day feels calmer. And for perhaps the first time in years, your body stops feeling like something you are fighting and starts feeling like something that is finally on your side. Sleep, mood, and decision-making are all quietly connected to this same thread. After 50, it is tempting to accept restless nights, low energy, and emotional swings as simply part of aging. But these experiences are often signs of a nervous system that never fully shifts out of survival mode. When your body holds tension, it does not switch off at night. It hums beneath the surface, quietly keeping your brain on alert. That is why you wake up exhausted even after hours in bed. That is why small challenges feel disproportionately heavy. That is why decisions, big or small, feel like they take more out of you than they should. A daily forward fold practiced with intention activates the part of your nervous system responsible for rest, calm, and genuine connection. With slow, rhythmic breathing, your body receives a consistent signal of safety. And safety is the root of everything. When your system feels safe, your brain no longer needs to stay on guard. Sleep comes more naturally, moods stabilize, and the choices you make begin to come not from urgency or fear, but from a steady, grounded sense of inner clarity. There is also the matter of physical stability, which is not a small thing. One of the greatest threats to independence as we age is not disease. It is losing trust in our own movement. Falls and slips can change the entire course of a person's life. And the root of stability is not just balance. It is body awareness, the ability to sense where you are in space and trust your own steps. A gentle daily fold, done with conscious breath and slow, intentional movement, reactivates this inner awareness. You begin to feel your feet on the ground again. You reconnect the communication lines between your legs, your spine, and your brain. Posture begins to correct itself naturally, not through force, but through rekindled connection. You stand taller without trying. You walk with more ease and quiet confidence. You begin to trust your body again in a way that restores genuine freedom. And then there is creativity, emotional vitality, the spark that many people quietly mourn after years of being strong for everyone else. By the time we reach our 50s, many of us have unknowingly closed off parts of ourselves just to keep going. We survived. We carried others. We pushed through. But somewhere in that process, the creative energy, the emotional softness, the sense of joy in simply being alive got buried under layers of responsibility and tension. That part of you is not gone. It is waiting beneath the armor. When you release physical rigidity through this kind of mindful, gentle movement, you create space for that energy to return. You might feel a sudden wave of inspiration, a warmth in your chest, an unexpected desire to create something, to express something, to feel something fully again. This practice becomes a doorway, not back to who you were, but forward into who you still are. Here is how to do it safely and with real intention. Stand with your feet roughly hip-width apart, knees softly bent. Close your eyes briefly and feel the ground beneath your feet. Inhale slowly through your nose for a count of 6, letting your ribs expand fully. Exhale for a count of 8, letting your body soften just slightly. Place your hands gently on the tops of your thighs. As you begin to fold forward, keep your spine long and your knees easy. Slide your hands slowly down the backs of your legs, going only as far as your breath remains calm and your body feels comfortable. Do not chase the floor. Chase the sensation. At your edge, pause and breathe. 3 slow, full cycles. With each exhale, invite a little more release. Stay here for 1 to 2 minutes. Rise slowly, vertebra by vertebra, staying fully present. Done every day, this becomes more than a stretch. It becomes a message to your entire system that it no longer has to brace, that it is finally safe to open, that flowing through life is not only possible, it is where you naturally belong.